Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad that you're here. Wow, what a great turnout. I'm really surprised. I didn't think I was going to get that many. My name is Michelle Walter, and I am the steering committee coordinator for the program Community Awareness. If everybody could stand right now, we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge. Thank you. So I don't have the police department here just yet. I'm not sure if he's going to be coming or not. But I do have Mark Schleiden, who is our director of operations here at Sun Lakes, and he is in charge of our Securitas. So I'm going to have him come up and give a little bit of information to you. So this is Mark Schleiden.
Good afternoon, all. I think I know most of all of you. Real quick, I just made contact with the railroad department, and that goes back 2 days ago. I talked with Bob Walters as well. Looking at doing a cleanup on the north side and down by Gate 6 as well. We had some cleanups and the homeless encampments scheduled. They were derailed by Banning PD. So we're trying to get that back on schedule and get some cleanup and debris removed. Also, on the north side at hole number 5 on the golf course, we've got intrusions through that chain link fence over and over again. So I've got some material now. We're just doing the patches ourselves. The board and myself will hopefully come up with the decision that we can do some type of temporary or permanent fix. As of right now, we're fixing it. They're destroying it 2-3 days later. We're throwing money in the wind. As far as patrol, working with them daily to try to get to do what we're supposed to do. I continue to get the complaints on a regular basis. So working with staff and like I said, trying to just follow instructions and do what we're meant to be done. So once again, I think you all have my number. Anything comes about on your end, you need me for anything services, I can be reached at the office Monday through Friday. Any questions? Perfect. Bye.
That was quick, no questions. Okay, so now what I would like to do, I would like to introduce our presenters from Waste Management. It is Doug Tanney, he's the public sector manager, and also James Delgado, he is the recycling compliance representative. They're going to do a presentation, and then afterwards, that you can ask questions. Some of you already gave me questions, and I did give them to James already. So he's going to answer those questions. And I know somebody put something on a piece of paper that says they had quite a few questions, and they want to have all the answers published in Lifestyles. Sorry, I can't do that. Listen very closely. This will be played on Channel 97 again. Ask as many questions as you want today, and to Doug or to James, and they'll answer your questions, and they're going to do a great presentation for you. Thank you.
Well, hello, everyone. Again, my name is James. This is Doug, and we're going to go ahead and try to help you out with this new mandate. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay, there we go. Perfect. I was just testing you guys. Okay. So we have this new mandate in California called SB 1383. I know it's driving a lot of people nuts and kind of scared, like, what are we supposed to do? Just know we now have to find a place for our eggshells and banana peels and coffee grounds. Oh, sorry. Oh, my God. Okay. We're good? We're good? Okay, sorry. So let's begin. SB 1383. So the state signed a bill which now requires cities and counties to reduce organic waste disposal by 75% by 2025. So beginning this year, all us Californians have to now separate our food waste and yard waste from the trash because that typically go, or your organic waste will go in your regular trash can, which ends up in the landfill. And what that does, it emits green gas and affects the climate. So California wants us to make an impact and reduce that organic material from going to the landfill. Waste like food scraps, yard trimming, soiled paper, cardboards make up half of what we throw away in the landfill. So we want to try to divert that so it's not staying there. And here's a video that Cal Recycle put together, the state that's pretty much requiring us to follow SB 1383.
Climate change is no longer the future.
It's completely engulfed, and it is hot.
It's already here.
California is hitting a fearsome milestone.
We're experiencing temperatures, world record-breaking temperatures in the state of California, 130 degrees.
We're seeing bigger wildfires, stronger storms, and devastating droughts.
I'm standing currently 40 feet underwater, or should be. Today, we are advancing a drought emergency.
But both the state and here at Cal Recycle, we're doing something about it.
SB 1383 is the biggest change to happen in waste management in over 30 years.
The new super pollutant reduction strategy rules for organics recycling and edible food recovery are part of California's bold effort to fast-track climate progress by reducing the most potent climate super pollutants like landfill methane emissions. Food, fiber, wood, and other organic waste materials make up the largest material types landfilled in California every year. When organic waste material decomposes, it emits methane, a short-lived climate super pollutant 84 times more potent than carbon dioxide, and a major contributor to climate change. California's short-lived climate pollutant reduction law calls on the state's 40 million people, its businesses, and every level of government to reduce landfill methane emissions by achieving a 75% statewide reduction in organic waste disposal by 2025. The law also requires actions to make sure at least 20% of currently disposed edible food is redirected to Californians who don't have enough to eat. The state is encouraging cities and counties to start planning now.
There is a need for more infrastructure to process food waste.
To provide organics collection services to every resident and business in the state, and to connect grocery stores, restaurants, schools, state agencies, and other large food suppliers with local food recovery organizations to feed people, not landfills. In addition to putting more food on the table, the law will reduce pollution and greenhouse gases, the equivalent of taking nearly 2 million cars off the road for a year. By using innovative methods to make and use compost, we'll create things like biofuel and electricity and turn depleted dirt back into nutrient-rich, water-retaining soil. Building the next generation of recycling infrastructure will create about 17,000 green jobs of the future. Ambitious goals, putting California in a much better position to protect the health of our people and our planet.
The really big solution here is taking on the climate crisis.
Because it's still possible, I think, to avoid the worst outcomes.
So as you can see in the video, why they want us to divert our organic waste from the landfill. So what's going to happen now is you're going to see pretty much your trash cans begin to change as required with SB 1383. It requires that the carts be uniform colors across the state. So carts will have dark gray bodies with different color lids. Green lids for organics, blue lid for recycling, and black lid for trash. Your current carts will gradually be switched out. We have until 2036 to get this into compliance, so there's time. So now that you guys have the green cart, what goes inside? Your green cart will now have your organics and your green waste. So your yard trimmings will still go in there. If there's any landscape, it can get discarded in there. But what also goes in there now is you're going to look at your produce. You're going to look at meat, dairy, poultry, breads, things of that nature can now be dumped in, or now has to be dumped within the green waste cart. Now, I know this can be challenging because many of you have specific questions of, what about, this, I think it was like meat scraps from the stove. That can go inside the green waste. But as we continue, we're going to go more into detail what goes in there and what doesn't. Also with SB 1383, the state's requiring us to kind of monitor and enforce a program to help reduce contamination in the recycling and organic collection cart. Keeping the organics waste stream clean will help ensure that organic material can be processed. And the way we're going to, WM is doing that, is we have a smart truck system. Now, the smart truck system has a camera on, 3 cameras, one in the front when it pulls up on the house, one in front of the trash can, and then what's being tossed inside the truck. The purpose is to kind of use the geolocation to verify this trash can belongs to this house, and this is what we captured before we picked it up and when we dumped it into the truck. And what this is going to help us do is to identify where some of these carts are contaminated, where things are being tossed in there that shouldn't be tossed. And when we find, I guess, those areas where a lot of people are not following through, then we can educate them. There's 2 technicians that will be reviewing that footage. One is to say, hey, look, these are contaminants. A second one to verify if that's true. And then what happens is they'll email you and notify you, the resident, to let you know there were some contaminants within this cart. And as you look at the screen right here on the right, this is a photo of someone who was tossing, or within their cart they had some contaminants, and I believe they had plastic packaging and film that was tossed in there, and it was captured. And so we went through that process. The first technician looked at it, identified it, the second one verified it, and then it was sent to the resident, making them aware this cannot go in this cart. Now, this is for your recycling, and it's going to be for the green waste. Now, the purpose of this, the state wants us to ensure that everyone's following through. Most people, I'm not saying people in this room, but don't follow what, the regulation of what goes in recycling and what goes in organics. People like to throw tires, sprinkling hoses, couches inside, the recycling container, or clothes. Unfortunately, that's not able to be recycled, or we don't have the process to do that. And so our goal is to educate you so you know what goes in which cart. Another concern people had was the privacy and protecting your data. We're not going to sell your data. We're not going to share with anybody else. This is not public information. This is between us and the resident to make you aware. And our cameras are not so sophisticated where if you're throwing away sensitive document material that we can capture that. These cameras are designed to identify contaminants like plastic bags, things I mentioned earlier, the water hose, furniture that's not supposed to be in there. And so what is contamination? That occurs when you place non-acceptable items in the wrong cart. It can ruin an entire load of organics or recyclables and prevent those materials from going to having a second life. So we want you to empty your organics and your recyclable materials into the appropriate cart to give it the best chance to becoming a new product so we can recycle that material or turn it into compost. Now, this is a big question. Plastic bags, whether it's compost or recyclable, those are not allowed in the organics or in the recycling carts. I know that they have these certain standards and they claim to be this and that, but these bags don't break down until about 2 to 3 years. And we have a video that's going to show you what happens when a plastic bag is thrown in one of the recycling or organic carts. It actually causes machines to malfunction and also puts our workers at risk.
I've been driving for Waste Management for 25 years. This is Christmas tree, propane, and plastics bag. It's not recyclable.
Only bottles, cans, paper, and cardboard go in the recycle bin. Some recycling programs have over 25% contamination. We spend too much time sorting through contamination and not enough time sorting through good material to help the environment.
The oddest thing I'd have seen was a skint deer.
I saw a badger dead with his eyes open, and it terrified me. I thought it was gonna wake up, so I didn't touch that one.
The most common thing that I would see contaminate the line would be Christmas lights.
Water hoses that stop the stars from spinning around. And anytime we get jammed, the whole system shut down. Right now, as you can see, everything is shut down because we have to clean the machines.
There's a lot of plastic bags that we get through the system. Grocery bags, bags filled with leaves, that's also get caught up in the screens.
Stream cleaning is when we go inside the stream and we take out the unwanted material, old clothing, old shoes, metal material.
When we go inside the screens, you might have a pole sticking out the shaft, and we have to pry it out. Or we might have cords that's wrapped around 3 shafts, or ropes, or chains, and we have to use the tools to get those things out. The tools we have is a hook knife, some wire cutters, and some pliers.
6 times a day, we stop the machines to clean for contamination.
Well, it would probably take us up to 2 hours to clean the screen out when recycling is not done properly.
We try to clean the screen 100% so it can run smooth as possible without causing any jam.
Now that I work here at Waste Management, I tell my friend that recycling is really important. If more people would recycle right, we could process more recycling a day.
So now you see the impact when you don't put the correct items in the correct cart, which leads to delays in the process. Now, for your recyclables, we just want to touch on that again so everyone's aware of what does not go in there. Okay, so your food waste, it's not going in the blue container or the blue lid. Water hoses, plastic bags, tires, electronics, soiled paper towels, needles. Needles definitely do not go in the trash container or the recycling container or the organic container. In banning, you get a sharp container per year where you can get that tossed away. Or you can give us a call if you have a lot of them, and then maybe we can work something out. But that does not go inside the trash can. Plastic film, definitely not. Furniture, no. Refrigerators, appliances, please don't. Clothing, no. Like in the video, the shoes stop the machine. And some of these machines are down for 2 hours. So another question that we get a lot, though, cardboard pizza boxes without leftovers or liners should be recycled, but leftover crust, cheese, and other foods should not. But now you have to be the judge of that. Oh, sorry, I apologizing. Okay, I don't want to eat the mic, but I think I'm going to have to. So pizza boxes is a huge question we get. Where do I throw it? It's soiled with grease. You're going to have to be the judge of that. You know, the application of good judgment is going to happen there. If it's very soiled and it doesn't look, I can be recyclable, just toss it in the trash. If it's not a whole lot of cheese on there, not a whole lot of grease, go ahead and put it into your organic waste container. Polystyrene foam. This is the foam you'll see behind your meats that's wrapped up, your to-go containers, those plastic containers. That is not recyclable. Unfortunately, it's just not. So you can throw that away into your regular trash can. So anything with foam as well. Any type of foam, it gets broken down. It's pretty much close to impossible to try to recycle that. So that goes into your regular trash container. Overages. The one on the left right here is an actual photo of when one of the drivers pulled up, and we could not service that. That is way, looks like a jungle when he pulled up. And it's just too much. Him picking it up, it can fall down, it can make a mess in the street. And then the driver has to stop and get that cleaned up and causes delay. And then, maybe some of the residents later on that day are not going to get service because of the time trying to deal with this. With the recycling, if the lid is popping up over, then that's an overage. You break it down or wait till your next week till that gets cycled or picked up. And then the last one, you have the foam in there, you have a cart, you have some plastic bags, you have some string or some cord. That is not recyclable. So that does not belong, and that will be a contaminant. And, then you'll get a photo and then an email from us saying, this is a contaminant, and we'll work with you in trying to get that resolved. Now with the organic waste containers, a lot of people are concerned that if I'm tossing my organics in this trash can, over time it's going to create a smell, it's going to get dirty, it's kind of disgusting. So in Vancouver, Canada, the city of Vancouver, I'm sorry, do you have a question? Understood. So one way to, deal with that, the city of Vancouver has some great tips of how to deal with your organic waste container, because they've been doing this, I think, for about 10 years. And so we'll go ahead and play this video in ways to help those issues.
Hi, I'm Laura. My family and I have been recycling our food scraps ever since the City of Vancouver introduced the Green Bin program a couple of years ago. Now that we're composting, we've seen a huge decrease in the amount of garbage we produce and feel great creating useful compost for our local gardens and farms. Our green bin can get icky and smelly pretty quickly, so to help prevent odors and pests, especially during the warm summer months, here are a few tips we like to follow. Tip number 1, finding the right spot for your green bin. Store your bin in a shady, ventilated spot to reduce odor and pests. Keep it away from fences or deck railings so critters don't have easy access to try to knock it over. If there's a persistent critter, place peppermint oil, hot sauce, or cayenne pepper on any chew marks left on the bin. Remember to wrap your food scraps before placing into the green bin. Lining your kitchen bin with newsprint is a great way to reduce odor, but never use plastic, even if it says it's biodegradable. Our next tip is very important, and I guarantee your nose will thank you. Line and layer your bin. Lining your bin with newsprint, cardboard, or yard trimmings before adding your scraps cuts down odor. Once you've started adding food scraps, layer in dry leaves, dry grass clippings, or dead plants throughout the week. Tip number 4, set it out every week. Set out your green bin for collection every week, even if it isn't full, to reduce odors, pests, and maggots. Properly setting out your cart is important. Always place carts with the handle facing your property, at least 1 meter of space on all sides and 3 meters of clearance above. Our final tip is rinse your bin. Rinsing your bin occasionally with a garden hose, mild detergent, or vinegar and water solution will help to keep it clean and reduce odor. By recycling food scraps, we're reducing the amount of greenhouse gases produced by garbage, and in turn creating beneficial compost that is used by local farmers to grow food across the region. For more information on the Green Bin program and recycling food scraps, visit vancouver.ca/greenbin.
So one of the main things you can do with your green waste to try to prevent that smell is use newspapers. That's not wax, it's not coated with anything. Just wrap your food scraps in that and toss it in there. You can also use brown paper bags that are not wax or have any liners on it as well to help prevent the smell or critters getting into it as well. For more resources, you could pretty much visit the WM's website for banning, and you can also go on Cal Recycle to get more details about SB 1383 in depth if you want to learn more. And then also on our website at WM for Recycle Right, it breaks down even more if you have, say, specific questions on certain items of what or how to recycle that. And so Doug and I are the representatives for banning. And I know some people may have very specific questions, and if we can't answer that today, you can always give us a call or email us, and we'll do our best to find the answer for you all.
I think that's it, right? This was brought to our attention.
So someone had a question regarding this to-go container. Yes, you see on the back it has a recyclable sign, the Mobius sign. Unfortunately, again, this is like a to-go container. It cannot be recyclable, so just toss it in the trash. It is a number 5. For to-go containers, we're just, I think on our website, we'll break it down specifically, but off of my head, I don't know. He was asking what numbers do we take for recyclable items. On our website, we can get that information for you if you unsure. But here's something that we want to drive home to. If you're really unsure what to do with it, it's okay to throw it in the trash, unless the items that we mentioned earlier, like hazardous materials, water hose, things of those nature.
Mm-hmm. No.
This container, no.
That goes
The
into
food
the trash.
can.
Yep. Right. No, we cannot use the compostable bags. Now, the question was, do you use the the compostable bags? We cannot use. You cannot use those in the organics bin. Well, you could, like it said, the newspapers, paper bags. You know, I know a lot of grocery stores still give away paper bags. That would be a good, resolution to that.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that would be definitely a discussion with the city. I know there's some cities that do offer some smaller bins they can have in their home, and then drop, if you do have your green cart there, to take that bin and dispose of it in the green cart. I think this community has the 35-gallon. Is that correct? Uh-huh. Three sizes? Okay. Because I know the 35-gallon is the smallest cart that we do offer. So that is the one that, in that situation, I don't have a resolution for that. But like I said, that's a good one. I don't, when you do have food waste and it does get heavy, I understand that. Now your cart you're doing right now, how's it being taken out? How's your cart being taken out now? Okay. Right. But all we're doing is telling you to put your food waste in the green waste can. Which means that your trash can should be a little lighter at the time. So it should balance itself out. Right. Those are the smallest. Correct. Well, yes. If definitely we have inventory, yes, we will.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I do understand that Waste Management has a service for people who cannot get their trash cans down to the curb. So I think that's just a matter of calling the office, and you can get that help, because we know a couple of different ladies here who are unable to manage their trash cans. So if you call them, all you have to do is put them outside your gate, and they will come up and get them, empty them, and put them back up.
That is correct. It's called backyard service. So if you call and let them know that you do need backyard service, but now it can't be gated, so like she said, it needs to be out on the side of your home where you can just go get it and bring it down.
I have several big potted plants that froze this year, and I recently replaced them with fresh dirt, fresh potted, the potted soil you buy at the nursery, and the plants. What do I do with the old dirt?
The old dirt should go still in the trash. Yes, dirt still goes into the trash.
It doesn't go into organics?
Not dirt.
Oh, dirt does not go into the green, it goes
no,
into the
not
trash.
dirt. Correct.
Did everybody understand that? Okay, so your dirt does not go into your green trash can, it goes into your regular trash can.
Correct.
Potting soil?
Potting soil, just for the time being, still put it in your trash can.
Okay, ours is not to ask why, ours is just to say, okay, that's what we're supposed to do.
If it's a question that we cannot answer, and you can definitely email us or give us a call, we'll get the answer for you.
We now have 2 microphones. I will be working this side, Michelle will be working that side.
I'm trying very hard to be compliant.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the garbage thing, putting it in my green barrel. I have a large green barrel. Sometimes the only thing I have to go in that large green bin is some garbage. Lays on the bottom. And it really does stink. And so I have to bring it in, I have to hose it out, tip out the water. It's very difficult for me. I'm not 90, but I'm still and I'm strong actually, but
Correct.
I'm still an older woman who is struggling with this big green bin. Is there a possibility that we could have 2, a small one? I do need a large one because I have yard waste too.
Yeah.
The small one isn't big enough, but the big one is too large for.
Now,
It would be very helpful if we could have something just for the garbage.
Yes, if you can give me your information, I will look it up and see which containers you have. I don't know if you have, because we have 3 different sizes. We have a 96-gallon, we have a 64-gallon, and we have a 35-gallon.
I think I have the middle one.
The middle, okay.
Which is not the giant one, but the small one I do not have.
Okay.
But I would like to have that to put my food waste.
Well, that would be, well, if you wanted to, then I'm sure, well, we can get you to, but there might be a charge for that.
Michelle, we've got one here.
Oh. I'm concerned about those plastic containers, the styrofoam containers. Okay, this is a state program, sorry. Why is the state not stopping, or the state not stopping smaller countries, counties, whatever, the factories from making these styrofoam boxes? If we didn't have them making the boxes, we wouldn't have to worry where the hell to put them, right?
Well,
Okay,
well, I don't have an answer for
I got another.
I'm not in the manufacturing industry, but I understand what you're talking about. But they have slowed down on the styrofoam containers. You know, those will still go in your trash. All those will go into your trash. You know, a lot of people have questions, for example, like the strawberry, the ones that the strawberries come in and the blueberries come in. The reason why those are going to go in your trash is because there's no market for it. Nobody's purchasing it to recycle it. So that's the reason why those are still going to go in your trash. People always think, well, those are plastic. Let's put them in the recycle bin. No, those will go in the trash.
And my other question, when are we all going to get colored tops for our garbage pails?
Pardon me?
When are we going to get colored tops?
Oh, like as your trash cans start wearing out through attrition, we'll be switching the trash cans out.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, we'll get mixed up, right?
No, it's as soon as you mean the ones that we had up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you will get those eventually, but we're
What-
not going to
what's
switch out
eventually?
everybody's carts as they get old.
No, not yet. Not eventually? What's eventually?
2035 would be the year that everybody, 2036. I understand. Not every.
I heard recently on the news, the issue with the styrofoam containers is just humongous. So there is a bill, either it's pending or it's going to be passed, so that when it's several years, restaurants, grocery stores, other facilities that package things in styrofoam will not. And they were saying something about Starbucks. They were going to be developing certain containers that would be definitely paper-based, which they've already come out with some anyway. But their goal that I have heard on the news is that's going to be addressed, but I don't know what year they have put as a goal. So it's in the works.
Michelle, I have one here while you're walking. Hi, okay, I have a couple of things. One, a lot of us have pets. There's kitty poo and doggy poo. Where does that go?
That will go in the trash.
That goes in the trash,
The
not the
trash.
recycle, even though
No.
it's organic. Okay.
No. We're not. We don't want to mix that with the organics and try to compost that. So.
Okay. Okay. How about things like diapers and incontinence?
That goes in the trash.
Okay. How about, I know we've been told the little milk lids need to stay on the milk cartons because the little lids can clog up the system. Is that true?
Correct. Keep it together.
Okay. Medicine bottles in their caps, stir sticks from Starbucks, all these are little things. Do they go in recycle? Trash, okay.
That's all trash. One thing you can go, when you have these specific items, when in doubt, you can throw them in the trash and then give us a call or email us and we'll do the research to see if that can be recyclable.
Okay.
I would just clarify, you said plastic bags and the styrofoam go in the trash.
That is correct.
I had, some neighbors have given me advice on the, the waste. A lot of people freeze it. And then a lot of people freeze the waste. And then, so when it's time to the trash can in the morning, they just put it in and it's frozen and it doesn't mess your trash cans up because they're freezing it.
If someone has the capacity to do such,
And I'm by
then
myself, so they know not to.
you got freezer space.
Yeah. So,
Great.
And then I just stick it in there and it doesn't mess my trash cans at all.
That's a great tip.
I have a question about bones. Chicken bones, chicken carcass when you finished with that, and pork ribs, beef ribs. What do we do with those?
All the bones are just going to go in the trash. The meat you can put inside the organics.
Wow. 18 months ago, one of your trucks ran over my trash can and broke the lid completely off. For 18 months, I have been trying to get a replacement. Can you tell me how and when I'm going to get a replacement lid for my container?
So what I heard is your trash can was damaged and it hasn't been repaired yet, correct?
Yeah, by
Okay.
one of your trucks.
Okay, so I'll get in contact with you and we'll get that resolved immediately.
Did someone here have a question? Okay. Did someone here have a question?
Michelle, I have a question. Sorry, Diane. Gentlemen, I know that you don't take this, but all of us get 1 million plastic bags. What do we do with those? We don't want to put them in the trash.
Now, I know the grocery store, some of them do take them back. They don't anymore?
They used to.
They used to.
Who does? Rite Aid does? All right.
Those will, if, like I said, like James said, it definitely would go in your trash. There's no room for your recycling. I mean,
It would be something Waste Management ought to look into. See if you can figure out how to work with those.
send it our way. You have a question?
Hello, guys. I'm sorry you have to deal with trash. This idea of taking pictures and sending us letters saying that we screwed up and you're going to do something about it. You do it 5 times, you call the police or a rag doll come and bite us. But the point is, what's the legality in that? Because my neighbors can come and throw it in my trash at night, and then you take a picture of me and you send me something. Should I cut a lawyer?
Honestly, that will be a civil issue.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, before we continue with the questions, please make sure that your questions are something that they can answer. They don't have all the answers to everything, and so the civil thing, they don't know what's going to happen. Some of the trash bags, they don't know what's going to happen. Ask them questions like, can I put needles in the trash can? Can I put toilet paper in the recyclable? So those are the things that you want to know. Those are the things that are important. Which things go into which bins so that they can clarify, so that when you leave here, you have the understanding of what you can put in each of your trash cans.
My question is, you said to clean out your trash cans, you could take a hose and clean it out? And what do you do with that? Do you turn that big truck thing over and put it, where you drain it?
No, I know, it'll go in the storm drain, is correct. You have a storm drain by your house. You have a storm drain by your home, huh? In the street. You know, do it on your lawn. I mean, you know, I can't tell you where that waste is going to go, but I would recommend if you have a lawn, do it on your lawn.
Yes.
That'd be the best.
Okay.
Okay, I had called Waste Management. I had called Waste Management and asked for a green bin when we got this information, and they did not have one they could give to me. I'm in a condo, so we don't automatically have the green ones. And they said to wait until the community was passing them out. So just to let you know, we don't have, so a lot of us don't have the green bin.
Understood. So again, a lot of these cities, think about it, everyone in California has to get this. So all our customers, we're rolling them out, and we're trying to get everyone the green bin in time. And so, you know, they come in stock, we pass them out, and then we get more in stock and we roll them out.
Hi, excuse me. I've run across some containers where there's a label on the outside of a plastic bottle, and it says remove the label for the trash, but I can recycle the bottles, as in coffee creamer bottles and such. Is that still adequate for recycle?
Yeah, I don't know that one. If you could send me an email, email address is up here. I can look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Hi, I'm Virginia Cervantes. Have patience with us. Sometimes I cut my dog's hair in between her grooming. Sometimes I cut my husband's hair. So what do we do with that hair, whether it's pet?
It's going to go in the trash.
Thank you.
My question is, I'm a golfer, and I have a travel bag that's been trashed by an airlines. I put it in the trash. Was that correct? Thank you.
Yes.
I want a little bit of clarification about plastics. So it's plastic bags that do not go in recyclable, but plastic containers? How do you...
Recyclable containers. If you go by shape, the jugs, the bottles, those will go inside your recyclables.
But no, not...
Correct.
Basically,
And we also
finding
have a
the
flyer
bottles.
in the back, and it also shows you what goes in those carts.
My question is regarding shredded paper. I used to put it in a garbage bag because I shred a lot, and then throw the whole garbage bag in the recycle bin. But I guess that's not good anymore. Just dump the container of shredded paper right in the recycle bin?
Yes, or put it in a brown paper bag.
Okay.
Okay, there's a misunderstanding here. If you have shredded paper, that goes into your recyclable, not into your trash. If it's in a trash bag, a plastic trash bag, then you can throw it into your trash can.
But why? Better to do what you want to do.
What about coffee pods? Those
We use trash bags, plastic bags, in our trash cans in the house. Do we have to just dump the stuff out of those? What do we do with those trash bags?
All plastic bags are going to go in the trash, depending what's inside of it. If it's organic waste, that goes into the organic
But you have
cart.
to dump it in. without-
Correct.
Okay.
I still have a bone to pick. The original flyer we got said bones go in the organics barrel, and the picture on this flyer, it's very small, but I'm sure that is showing whole fish carcasses and chicken and rib. So I think that's wrong about going in the trash. I think they go in the green barrel.
You know what? We'll look into that and get more clarity. And then what I'll do is I'll pass that information to Ms. Walter over here, and she can hopefully send you guys an email with that information. Well, I'll look deeper into that.
Yeah, I'd like to know about avocado pits and the mango pits and corn cobs. Does that all go in the organics
That's going to be in the trash.
trash? What about chicken bones?
As of right now, put that in the trash. I'll go ahead and do some. You gotta understand, this all happened this year. We're all learning this. I don't have all the answers, but as of right now, let's put that in the trash. But with the pits that she's referring to, the corn cobs, let me go ahead and get some more research, because again, these are very specific questions that don't get, asked often. And then as soon as I get that information, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to Miss Walters over here, and she'll go ahead and email you all that information after I do some research. I don't know everything, but I'm gonna do my best to answer your questions.
Okay. Oh, I was just wondering where we're saying that you would want us to rinse out the cans either into our parkway or on our lawns. That's food waste and stuff, and does that, putting it out on your lawn or even in your street gutter, isn't that going to draw little creatures and be unsanitary?
So if it's organic waste and it's going on your lawn, it should, compost or decompose. But that's why some of the tips we're putting in a brown paper bag or layer the bottom with newspaper to prevent things of that. So if you don't have to rinse it out, but you're pretty sure if you want to, but you want to take the steps necessary to prevent any type of smell or anything if you are going to rinse it.
We're going to take one more question, but just to reiterate, all these things are on here. The plastic plate, the anything plastic, anything styrofoam, anything that is not going to break down is going to go in your trash can. That's just plain and simple. It's going to go in your trash can. Anything else is going to go into the recyclable. Now, I wanted to ask about cans. Are cans recyclable? Not only soda cans, but your, let's say, dog food cans or, okay, so those are trash. So yes, they're metal. So those are not recyclable. Well, on the sheet, it says that it's not. So,
We'll get you a solid answer on that one.
okay, so I will make sure that the delegates put it in their newsletters. I can't force them to do it, but I will ask Joe to remind them to put them in the delegate letters so that you now know what goes in which bin instead of what doesn't go in the bin. Would that be a better clarification for everyone? Okay, so I will get with James and with Doug, and I will come up with something that will show what you can put in each can, whether it's hair, whether it's dog poo, whether it's plastic, whether it's shoes, whether it's tires, any of that kind of stuff. We will come up with something that will give you a guideline to show you what you can put in each bin. Also, don't forget, even though they're taking pictures, what they're trying to do is they're trying to educate us. You saw what was happening up here. You saw those poor workers, what they have to go through to stop the jamming. What if one of them gets hurt? How would you feel if the hose that you just stuck in there hurt somebody? So we just need to be very cautious. So that whatever you think of and you think, well, is this recyclable or is it not? Put it in your trash. That way we don't have to worry about it. So I will take they'll take one more question, and then that will be it. And if you have any other questions, I think Doug and they've got your names up here. They'll be in the back and they can answer questions because now we have our chief of police that's here. So one more question. Who wants to be the brave one after I've just reprimanded you all?
Nobody.
No one. Oh, one right here.
I have a gray trash can, I have a green trash can, and I have a maroon trash can. What is the maroon one?
The maroon one is your trash can.
Trash can.
Yes. Your gray one is your recycle bin, and the green, of course, is your organics bin.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to end this right now. And if you want to talk to Doug or to James, please give them a big round of applause.
And I just want to say thank you, everyone. You guys bring some really questions that make us think, and it's going to help us improve and be better ourselves. Thank you so much.
Okay, so now I have our chief of police, Matt Hamner, and he's going to give a little bit of information to you.
I just want to say, don't quit asking questions of Doug and James. They answer questions about criminal justice, economics, science, chemistry, stoichiometry. You ask them, they know the answer. Just kidding. I think this is a new group, is it? Because I don't want to repeat myself from last time. Hold it up here. Thank you. All right, you can't. I can't remember what you said anyway, so doesn't make any difference. Okay. Well, just to introduce myself, I've been your police chief for almost 3.5 years here in Banning. And one of the things that, well, let me start off by telling you who I am. I was born in Tokyo, Japan. My dad was in the Air Force, and then we moved to Norton Air Force Base in San Bernardino. So I always tell people the first state I ever lived in was California. And then we moved back to Tennessee and then Indiana, where my dad was born and raised. So I consider myself a Hoosier because I spent most of my years there, but California was the first state I lived in. My mom and dad had 15 children. They had twins that died. They raised 13. My mom's 92. She's still alive. My dad's passed on. But I was talking to her about a year ago, and I said, how you doing, Mama? She goes, fine. She goes, Matt, you remember when we had all these kids, and there were 9 of us in school at the same time? Can you imagine getting 9 kids ready for school in the morning? And she said, remember all those women that used to tell me I was going to die at a young age because I had all those kids? I said, yeah. She goes, guess what they say about me today? I said, what? She goes, nothing. They're all dead. So my mom still has a sense of humor at 92. So that tells you a little bit about me. But let me start off by telling you about Banning. And you know probably a lot more about Banning than I do. But I know more about the underbelly, right? The ugly part. And so in the last 5 years, we have had 15 murders in Banning. Prior to my arrival, there was this perception that Banning couldn't solve a murder. And there was a specific concern that we didn't solve black murders, that we didn't work them as hard. That was the perception in the community, whether you knew that or not. Since I've been here, they have solved, well, in addition to another year, 14 out of 15 murders. I know there's some mathematicians in here, there has to be. 14 out of 15, I want to say, is about 92 to 93%. Does anybody want to guess what the national average is for solving murders in the United States? 50? No, it's much higher than 20. It's 61%. 61. Now, we're at 93%. I would challenge you to find any city that's at 93% in solving that. Now, knock on wood, I think this is wood. We have not had a murder this year. That's pretty good. We usually have between, yes. The message from the, I say the underbelly, the criminal element, the rumor that's going around is if you're going to kill them, don't do it in Banning. In addition to that, we have solved 3 cold case murders. 2 of were black victims, which is, sends a good message to part of our community who didn't believe we solved those. So we solved 3 cold case murders and locked all those killers up. So there's also a little bit of a, if you're going to be that way, you wonder if we're still, because we've still got some others unsolved. So you have to wonder if we're going to show up at your door, right, if you're a bad guy. That's kind of nice to know, right? It's like when you do something at home and you know your dad's going to be home in an hour, you're like, oh. So I hope they have that uh-oh moment, like either get out of town in case they figure out who did the other murder that we haven't solved, or lay low until they feel more comfortable. So I'm very happy about that. Now, about a year and a half ago, we had a triple murder up in the cemetery, up at the north end of San Gregorio. And I want to tell you a little bit about that. The mom was holding a birthday party at the graveyard for her daughter who had been murdered a year or year and a half previously. And she and her sister and another person were the 3 that were murdered. So here's a mom at the graveyard celebrating the birthday of a murdered daughter and ends up getting murdered. Right? Kind of ugly. So why do I tell you that? Because that's the kind of things that we're doing. If you look at our press releases, we put them out. We've put out 2 this week about illegal guns and rapists and child molesters that we've been arresting. We arrest a lot of bad guys. That's our job. Now, is our job to be here and speak with you and share information with you? Absolutely. But if I'm not arresting bad guys and reducing crime, you don't really want me to hear talking to you. Am I right or wrong? Get out there and do your job, right? That's what you'd tell me. I'm here to tell you that I have a staff, and by the way, I'm not the one solving these. I've got good staff, right? We put people in the right places in the right seats, and they do it. I get emails from the district attorney's office telling me about the kind of work that my staff are doing, my homicide detectives, my patrol officers out on the street, catching bad guys and putting them away. Now, I'm going to tell you the frustrating part about that for me. Car thefts, burglaries, all the property crimes. I get complaints from citizens all the time. You're not doing your job. And I would agree, we're not. Why are we not doing our job? Why? Nope, not because short staff does affect it, but why do people think we don't do our jobs when it comes to property crimes? Anybody know? That's exactly right. AB 109, and I see them being recorded. Thank you. AB 109, and you can send this to your state legislature. AB 109, Proposition 47, and Proposition 57. They basically decriminalize property crimes. Have you seen these smash and grabs going on where people just, we've had people take a grocery cart, fill it up full of stuff, and just walk out the front door. And a security guard will be following, stop, 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 and they go right out the door. And nothing we can do. Now, if the police were there, what could we do? Does anybody want to know? Anybody think they know what we can do? Write them a ticket. We book them, and they're released. They're free right then. So, like I said, I'm going to tell a story. If I'm boring you, just stop me. Just give me the high sign. We had a auto theft. Guy pulled into the dry cleaners on Ramsey, goes in, turns around, his truck's driving out. Kid jumped in it, took it, stole it. We chased him. He crashed at 8th and Ramsey through the Jack-in-the-Box at the drive-thru, smashed through, knocked down a light pole, knocked down the drive-thru, crashed into another car, totaled the truck. Pickup trucks are expensive. If you haven't looked at the price, I can't afford one. Those things are $70,000, $60,000, $80,000 for the nice ones. This was the nice one. Guy is the victim, as you can imagine, extremely upset. He customized this truck. This was his truck. On the floorboard of that truck was a business card, little business card. That kid had just been released from the correctional facility, Larry Smith, for auto theft, his third time in a week. Before we had him processed, or before we processed the crime scene and got all the other stuff, he was booked and released. Steal again. So, when you express frustration to me, I am equally frustrated and maybe even more, because I have dedicated my life to catching bad guys and putting them in jail. And in the great state of California, for property crimes, we can't do it. They get a ticket. That's a fact. Went into a phone store. I grew up with, I told you how many brothers and sisters I had, so I still feel like I'm still that guy where I can't spend any money. So my wife and I have these little $150 Samsung phones, and my daughters are always like, Dad, for Christmas, we're getting Mom a phone. You're ridiculous, you know? Mom needs a decent phone with a camera, because we got 5 grandchildren. We go into our phone, T-Mobile store, and I'm looking, and you know how all the phones are on a steel cord, right? You pull them. There's no phones. There's just steel cords. So I asked the manager, I go, hey, can we look at a couple phones? Yeah, we don't do that. He goes, you have to look at them online or on this little, he brings out a pad. You can look at it on his pad. He keeps a pad with him. I go, where are the phones on the cord? He goes, they're stolen. I go, in front of you, or they broke in at night? He goes, no, right in front of us. I go, why don't you do something? Oh, company policy is we can't use force to stop them, and they don't prosecute for anything less than $950. So if you get an $899 phone, you just take that sucker and walk right out the front door, and nothing's going to happen to you. That's California. I'm glad she's recording this, because when you look at it and someone says, I'm going to verify what the chief said, you verify it. That's the truth. It's frustrating. Burglaries, thefts, people breaking into places, nonviolent. They don't even hold them. Did you know that raping an unconscious woman is not a violent crime by state of California standards? Yes. And last November, there was a referendum, I want to say it was 20 or 21 or 22, something like that would have repealed portions of these propositions to bring a little bit of sanity back. Rejected, 60-some%. You can Google that one too. Do you not think that's frustrating to me? I have 4 daughters. I hope nobody spikes their drink. Right? So anyway, isn't it a happy day? So I just tell you that because what I am going to tell you is violent criminals, we go after and we put them in prison. Any criminal we can. And I tell my officers, we don't stop doing our job because we don't feel like there's consequences. We still issue the citation. We still do what we have to do. And at times we are short-staffed and can't investigate some property crimes. But I just want you to know that's our challenge. And that's, not you guys, but that's the state of California. We're hoping to change that. So banning, again, typically we have anywhere from 2 to up to 8 murders a year. Knock on wood, we're almost 4 months into this one and still the big goose egg, which I'm excited about. But I also want you to know that we've sent a message to bad guys. You commit a violent crime here, we'll coming for you. My detectives are incredibly good. I couldn't be more proud of them. They've won awards. DA's office emailed me, and that's what we're doing. So, having said that, please call the police department. Identity theft, scammers. The IRS never makes a phone call. You guys all know that. Everybody's clear on that? If you get a call and somebody says they're from the IRS, it's not the IRS. They called me, by the way. No, they did. I was police chief in Bay Ridge Island. They said, the local police have a warrant for you. I go, that's amazing, because I'm the chief of police. I don't see any warrant. Click, disconnected. So they play that game. Never accept phone calls from your credit card companies, from Social Security, Amazon. Don't take phone calls. And a lot of emails. You know the contact information from your statements. Call that number and ask them and say, hey, did you send me an email? And they will confirm or deny, oh yeah, we did, blah, blah, blah. Or, no, we didn't, that's a scam. That's how you bypass that. What else did we want to talk about? Oh, well, I'm being told I'm done. And I've been married 35 years. I know what that means. I have 7 children. You should know a little bit about me, and maybe I did. I have 7 children. 5 are grown and out of the house and went to college and have families. And then I have 2 boys at home, 16 and 14, and they're the best of the 7. Don't tell the other. Oh, it's on record. Don't tell the other 5, because they're great too. But it's fun having. You get to be my age as a parent. And the little things that you worried about when you were young, not so much. I heard a quote one time. It said, we treat our grandchildren like we would treat our own if we could just do it all over again. I think there's some. No, I don't have those with me. So, just a good question. Do we have statistics for just Sun Lakes? So, we can do that. We can do some research on that. You're very safe here. Let me say that. Do you have petty theft that occurs sometimes? Absolutely. That's everywhere. I don't care where you live in California or even some other states. But one thing I will tell you is, be eyes and ears. We would rather be called and not needed than needed and not called. So, and I know you have security here, so call them first. I would, in case that, because you don't. Okay. I knew I was funny, but I didn't know I was that funny. If you don't feel comfortable calling them, then call us. I just didn't want to create problems for you. But if you see, somebody trespassing or camping out somewhere on this private property and they're not supposed to be here, call us. If we're delayed, we may be delayed. We have sometimes 2 or 3 officers. That's all that's working at a time. So if they're tied up in a traffic accident, it may be a couple hours. So that's the other complaint I do hear from citizens. Chief, your response time sometimes horrible. I said, you're right. You're 100% right. I don't hide behind that. It's true. Sometimes we just can't get out there, but it takes us hours. For example, you have a serious traffic accident, all 2 or 3 are going to be tied up. We have a murder scene, or even a rape scene or a crime scene where we have to protect that scene, and the other officer is the reporting officer. Yeah, you're not going to get somebody for a while, especially if I think we have a trespasser in the back lot or on the golf course. It may be a few minutes. But we're addressing that. That's being addressed. The council did approve the 5 that we unfunded and during COVID have been refunded. Problem is getting people hired. I don't know if you guys realize, even in the private and public sector, can't get people to take jobs. So we're trying. We're doing our best to do that. So, but you should have my information. I know Michelle does. Email me, call my office. If I'm not responsive, yell at me, say, hey, this is my 3rd one, you haven't answered, I'm good with that. We get busy sometimes, but I want to answer your questions. I want you to feel safe in Banning. You're very safe here at Sun Lakes for sure. And most parts of Banning are very safe. But we also always need to be careful. You just never know, right? And I'm probably more paranoid than I should be. But I'm always careful. At my age and with my wife and kids, just be careful. Be aware of your surroundings. You make a withdrawal from an ATM, you're getting a bunch of cash, look around you. Look around, seriously, just look around. You'd be surprised how many times you run out and grab it and run off and you don't even know it. So, yeah, don't stand out and go, 588. No, yeah. Lock yourself in your car and drive somewhere else. So, any burning questions before I give up the mic? I'm getting the stare. Yes. From what? That's not coming from us. Our department has never asked for a donation in the 3.5 years I've been here. So, yes, the city, yes, yes. We don't see, I haven't seen a nickel from anybody besides the city in 3.5 years. So if there's somebody asking for donations, I wouldn't be giving.
Thank you, Chief. What we're going to do, we will have another presentation with the police department, and it will be only the police department here with Securitas, and you can do questions and answers. If I let you do it, we'd be having questions until 4:30 today. And so next time we'll do statistics, and I just want to thank the Chief taking time out of his day to come over here. Thank you again, Chief Matt Hamner. Okay, the only last thing I just want to say, I got to read this, and I hope I can. I want to thank everybody that's attended today. I hope you got some information. If you need any additional information for the waste management, please do not hesitate in letting me know. I will try my very best, not in this newsletter, but in the next newsletter that you get, to make sure that you know what goes in each of those bins, not what does not go in them. And then I would like for my steering committee to all stand. I have Lois Jordan, Karen Daniels, Jamie Taylor, Virginia Cervantes, Sally Jo Schwartz, Claudia Schwartz, Carol Spinden, sorry. So if anybody is interested, did I miss anybody? No, I think the other ones are not here. If anybody is interested in participating or being on the steering committee, you can. My name is in the phone book. It is in the lifestyles. And I just want to let you know, our next presentation is on Monday, May 23rd, and the time is 10 o'clock. We're having two programs. One is Remembering Our Town by President John McLaughlin. He's from the San Gorgonio Pass Historical Society. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to have Louis Cardenas. He's a senior engineer from the Banning City Water Department, and he will be addressing all of our water issues. So you're not going to want to miss that one. And if you have questions regarding the water department, go ahead and email them to me. My email's in the lifestyles. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.